Hi, I'm Ken Hutchinson. I've been at Pro for 10 years and my job title is Senior Auditor. My focus for the company is to perform transactional and operational audits, primarily of cover holders and managing general agents on behalf of managing agents or policy issuing companies. There are a number of issues that we run into during our audits. These can include, first, that there are at times incorrect or outdated policy forms and schedules. It is not unusual to find that policy forms required by the binding authority agreement are not necessarily incorporated into the policy documentation issued to the insured by the cover holder or MGA. Second, that the internal policies and procedures, for example, related to financial crime, are not kept current or updated. Third, that there have been several instances in which the cover holder or MGA exceeds their annual premium income limits as stipulated by the binding authority agreement. Lastly, that balances due to managing agents are incorrectly calculated by the cover holder. We had a recent audit finding in which the monthly balance due the managing agent had been miscalculated by the cover holder for the 2-year life of the program. If incorrect, outdated, or missing forms are not resolved at the time a policy is issued, the managing agent runs the risk of unexpected financial exposure if policy forms restricting exposure to certain areas are not included. Statutory penalties by state regulators could also be imposed. If OFAC sanctions check procedures, for instance, are not kept current with changes in regulations, the managing agent could be subject to serious penalties if funds are remitted to sanctioned parties. If premium writings are greater than permitted, the managing agent or policy issuing company could incur greater than expected exposure to volatile segments of business for which they have no way to mitigate through reinsurance, for instance. In this example, without an audit, the miscalculation that had been going on for 2 years would probably have continued for the life of the facility, potentially costing the managing agent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Once the initial spreadsheet calculation had been accepted by the cover holder, there was no further check performed to ensure that the scheduled deductions were as intended. $200,000 had been incorrectly charged at the time of our audit and likely would have grown by approximately $100,000 per year for the life of the program. It is generally in my experience that cover holders are well-intentioned, but staff are not always sufficiently trained to carry out all the functions required of them. We can only help you with your challenges if you contact us to discuss your concerns. We would love to chat.